Please welcome Nutanix Chief Marketing Officer Mandy Dhaliwal and Nutanix President and Chief Commercial Officer Tarkan Maynor.
Wow. Look at everybody. It's so great. Tarkan, we made it.
Finally.
.next 2026, last keynote of the conference.
Amazing.
Right? It's gone by like that.
Like this.
Yes. What was your favorite part? I have to ask.
All right, so you asked me this the other day. I don't have one specific moment. I think the Executive Leadership Summit on Monday was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Small room. It's a huge line like you used to have in New York City on those clubs, like a couple of miles. Like everybody want to be there. That was awesome. I think Partner Exchange was phenomenal. Dave Gwynn killed it as usual with the team. That was fantastic. I really liked the keynote from Rajiv.
Yeah.
Super contextual, authentic, and tying that to today's. Look, I love the event. Everything was fantastic.
Yeah, I agree. I think all of that, it was just phenomenal. It takes a lot of time, energy, obviously, and effort for our teams to come together and coordinate this and our partners. And I'm so pleased with how the show's gone. For me personally, it was all about the people, the conversations, the reunions, the ability to just pause for a moment, give someone a hug. It's something that I look forward to every year.
Can I add one more, by the way?
Oh, sure.
Okay, it just came to my mind.
One last thing is Tarkan's famous line. Yes.
I also love,
yes.
You guys saw the demos, right? A lot of, what?
Yes, yes.
Finally, man, what's going on? So, one of the demos, Ashwini Vasant. You remember the demo with Mano? Ashwini, please give a big hand to Ashwini.
Ashwini,
Yeah.
seriously,
Ashwini, are you
Mano.
around? Where's Ashwini? Is she
Yes.
here? Is she here? Anybody see Ashwini? Ashwini, you're
There
right
she
there.
is.
Raise hand, please. All right, awesome.
Yeah.
So, I'll tell you this. AI stuff is so complex and confusing. Ashwini is like a psychiatrist, like a psychologist. She's smiling, she's calm, like, just lay down, I'll tell you all the things that to do. You're so calm and collected, and you tell the story so quietly and comfortably. I'll be honest, I'll learn more from Ashwini demos than anything else on AI. So thank you, Ashwini, for a phenomenal demo.
Awesome. My favorite line of that demo, oh yeah, we're doing a marketing token drop and we spent $6 million in the first hour. Of course.
Always some
marketing.
Yeah.
Thank you. No, awesome work, Ashwini. Really loved it. So before we roll into the next segment here, I wanted to take a moment to recap, right? 3 years ago, we had 31 sponsors at this event, and now today we have over 107. So again, big round of applause to everybody that came out in force. Thank you to our sponsors, and thank you, Tarkan, to Gregory and the whole team for pulling all of those together. And again, very proud to showcase the who's who of the tech industry as our platinum sponsors. And then we also handed out some prizes, right, and some awards. Would you like to talk about that?
Yeah, sure. Like obviously, to all platinum sponsors, we thank you. This is only happening because of all these sponsors. Thank you. And look, at the Executive Leadership Summit on ELS on Monday, we provided these awards. I know you saw this on the day one, but I just want to share this again. We talked about every single vertical industry, geo, use case, user profile. So the partners are contextual. They're not in one place. So there are so many awards for that reason. So every geo we care about, we're a global company. And look at these keynotes. It's like United Nations. We have so many people coming from so many different parts of the world, driving innovation as a family, as an ecosystem. And this is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And thank you all. Thank you all. Yes, we're the locomotives in the industry as Silicon Valley as a concept, not only as a location. And you guys are making this real. So all these award winners, thank you. And obviously AMD, CW, and Supermicro went a little bit beyond, all those beyond awards. Thank you all for becoming part of the family.
Congrats to all the partner award winners. Thank you. And now, to give you a little bit of context as to what we're doing next, Tarkan is going to do a couple of more partner spotlights. Once that's done, I'll come back out and introduce our guest speaker, our famous closer, Mr. Rober. So hang tight for that, and then we'll do the wrap and head off to the party. So I'm going to leave you in Tarkan's capable hands. See you soon.
Thank you.
There you go.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right. So look, I have a small segment, as we did yesterday a little bit. after all these announcements, actually we had 39. You remember that number? Not 1, not 5, not 15, not 25, 39 innovation announcements. And every single one connected, infused, energized, supported, powered by a partner or more. So I know this is a busy slide, but I just want to give you a little bit of an executive summary on this. When you think about a platform, gives you choice, it's flexible, it's secure, it's manageable, it just only works because supported by the ecosystem. Without an ecosystem, we have no future. That's why this is so important. And this ecosystem, when you look at these little tiles, goes back to the entire ecosystem, north and south in the infrastructure, and east and west, across all vertical applications, across all geos. So when you think about this, we made these announcements with Cisco, Dell, Lenovo, HPE, Fujitsu, Supermicro on the OEM x86 side of things. We talked about our cloud partnerships with AWS, with Azure, with GCP, and tons of partnerships with SPs like OVH. And on top of that, some of the software announcements with Omnisa, Citrix, Nerdio, Microsoft, we're going to have them later here as well in this segment. And tying to the security partnerships like Palo Alto, Rapid4, and many others on observability management, Dynatrace, Datadog, SolarWinds. Many of you are here. I know there are a lot of them I'm missing, but I just want to make sure that you all understand you belong to this family. And the entire stack works because we like to glue all these things together as Nutanix in an open, secure, manageable, reliable way, and hopefully with the lowest TCO, total cost of ownership for you all. Having said all this, we care about our subsystem as well. In the past, people didn't care about this as much. But without Intel, without AMD, without NVIDIA, we cannot make these things happen. That subsystem makes things work. So thank you, Intel. Thank you, AMD. And obviously, thank you, NVIDIA. On that note, nice segue. Let me bring Hemant Dula, Enterprise AI Leader at NVIDIA, to have a nice close with me around AI. Hemant?
Wow, look at this crowd.
Last but not least, my brother. How are you?
Very, very good. Very excited to be here. Look at this crowd, and what phenomenal 3 days. My God.
Incredible. I know you have a huge team here. They were with us on Monday, Tuesday. We talked about you in a bunch of demos. Our Nutanix Chief AI Psychiatrist, Ashwini, did the demo. I don't know if you saw it, but your team saw it. NVIDIA was everywhere. This is your family. All our enterprise customers, SP customers, our partners, all here. So give us a little bit of past context, where we came from together as two partners for this market.
Nutanix and NVIDIA have had a long-standing relationship, right? We've been working together for 10 plus years. We started with VDI as our first workload. We then expanded our partnership with Nutanix HCI, converged compute and storage on a single platform. And from then on, we just have never looked backwards.
Incredible, incredible. Little context, I think you know this. I used to run a company called Wise back in 2005, 2006 timeframe, and one of the biggest problems in thin clients and VDI was latency. When you have 90 milliseconds or above latency between a server or cloud infra and the device, the cursor starts looking like this. So we couldn't deal with this, so I had to call Jensen actually back in 05, 06 timeframe and said, can we use your GPUs for gaming actually in these enterprise thin clients so at least we can gain time in rendering videos? He was typical Jensen. Can we do it yesterday? So we made that happen. I remember that moment, and now look where we are. 20 years later, you guys changing the world, and we are proud partners. So on that note, today at GTC, superior event, we're kind of a mini GTC, don't you feel like this, all this ecosystem and so on?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we announced the Agentic AI platform. You see some of the demos. Thomas talked about this. Thank you for all your support for those announcements. And now we're adding all the multi-tenancy and new cloud, tie-in orchestration to this. What do you think from a present perspective where we are and where we go from?
I think that's the perfect thing. Rajiv talked about in his keynote Tomas and Mano talked about in their technical keynote. And it's very clear, agentic AI is a key pillar of Nutanix strategy. And that exactly is the foundation of our partnership, right? So we are working together at all levels of stack and optimizing the solution. Just to name a few examples of where optimizations are happening are Nutanix Flow VNet offload with NVIDIA Bluefield DPUs, zero trust microsegmentation at line rate.
Amazing.
NKP with NVIDIA GPU operator support for lifecycle management. NAI with NVIDIA Inference Microservice, also called as NIMS, for single-click deployment of model into production. How much better can it get?
End-to-end. Exciting. So I'll tell you, the last question I'm going to ask, I'm pretty standard on these things because I want to make sure we give context. I'm going to ask you, give you a call to action. I always ask that all to our partners because I want to make sure our customers and partners at least have an understanding what next 12 months holds for them. But before that, just want to give you a quick anecdote. Maybe that's a nice segue for that too. Recently, very large logistics company I'm meeting, not the CIO, not the CTO, literally board members and CEO's staff. And they're talking about literally not eliminating but slowing down with some of their ERP costs and now using agents against their own data behind the firewall. Their data is their differentiation. And this logistics company trying to be actually replacing some of the ERP with their own agents. And they're telling me they're going to replace a lot of applications with these agents. And agents are becoming the applications as like Mano talked about and you talk about all day long. And they're asking obviously to us, hey, how can we provide a platform to securely manage the lifecycle of these agents and orchestrate them? So we love to hear this because that was your vision from the beginning, since I met you from the beginning. I know Jensen talks about this all the time. So can you tie that maybe, if you believe in it, of course, what's the call to action? Because all these enterprises now getting into this game, what should they do?
So the vision is very, very simple and it is very powerful. To me, it is Nutanix AI Factory with NVIDIA, on top of which every single enterprise globally can rapidly develop and deploy agentic AI applications. That's the vision.
Incredible.
If I'm an enterprise sitting in the audience, what I should be thinking about is the best time to start is now. It's today, not to wait. Appoint a C-suite executive sponsor to make your AI projects focused and successful. Start with your highest ROI use cases. Break it down into bite-sized chunks and then go and execute on these chunks. And now the question becomes is, where do I execute it? The answer is straightforward. Nutanix AI Factory with NVIDIA.
Look, I'm listening to you. I'll tell you, I'm getting on your calendar. We're traveling together. I'm thinking to Japan first, and we're going to travel everywhere. You love to see customers. I know you are on the move all the time. Hey, man, thank you. I know how busy you are, and you're here. Appreciate you and the entire NVIDIA team to support us. You guys are phenomenal. Thank you so much, my friend. You're the best.
Thank you for inviting
us.
us.
Always. Bye, Heman. Thank you. I love this guy. I really do. He's so switched on. Sometimes I see you, and we live in a similar neighborhood in the Bay Area. I see him sometimes, always like on the go. Phenomenal. Look, we talked about a lot of use cases, a lot of different vertical industries. You remember I talked to you about the customer-partner intimacy. This is super important to us. Every workload matters. The other day I was talking about with Citrix and Melissa about end-user computing, because we've seen these millions of cores, nodes are migrating in the data center, but that's impacting also the edge and end users and end-user compute. So as you all know, we've done a lot of work with Omnisa, with Microsoft, with RDP, Remote Desktop Protocol, with Citrix for many, many years, and we're continuing to do so. But now there's a new kid on the block, and that's a company called Nerdio. And Nerdio is a partner of ours. We just made that announcement. this week with Microsoft, and we're collaborating basically both from a go-to-market perspective, but most importantly from a product perspective, and we have some announcements to make. So on that note, let me bring Scott Manchester from Nerdio and Saud Al-Misrahi from Microsoft. Please come to the front.
Hello, my friend.
Good to see you, Scott. Scott Manchester to my right and Saud to my left. Okay, I have an identity crisis because I thought you were at Microsoft. What happened? Give me context.
Yes, so I spent 25 years at Microsoft, in fact, 25 years to the day. And interesting enough that one of the very first partners that I signed up to extend the value of the products I was working on there, I led our virtualization product team and built both AVD and Windows 365. The very first partner I signed up to extend the value of those, and you talked about the importance of partners, was Nerdio. So after my 25-year tenure at Microsoft, it was an obvious next step for me to lead product and technology at Nerdio, and I've been there for just a couple months. This is my third week in a row being on stage representing the work of Nerdio, and it's been a real honor to share the stage with you and many others in this industry and talk about all the great innovation we're doing together.
Awesome, awesome, great to see you. I'm going to come back to you with the context a little bit more. So, how you doing?
I'm good.
Great to see you. You're traveling the world.
I am.
Your partner in crime left you, but now back, and I'm your API in between you.
Very nice.
I'm connecting you guys. So give us context a little bit. What do you do? What are you doing today? Where we came from as two partners, and the context with Nerdio.
Totally. So I've been with Microsoft for 20 years. I got my start in consulting in the EUC space. It's near and dear to my heart. But 5 years ago, I got to work with this gentleman on something called Windows 365, where we created a new class of computing, something we call the cloud PC. And at Ignite, we announced two things. One, very similar to the conversation you were just having with NVIDIA, we announced Windows 365 for agents, basically taking that cloud PC that 5 years ago we gave to humans and giving it now to agents, so that agents can leverage the same compute power that you provide to your end users and access all the apps that you just talked about. The other thing we announced was AVD Hybrid. And so that, for this audience, I think is going to be critical to allowing you to start your journey to Windows 365 in a hybrid cloud fashion.
Interesting. I like that, tie-in, of course. Knowing the history, and you've been working together for 20 plus years. And one thing, Scott, you and the team, also the entire Microsoft team, it's all about ecosystems. I'll be honest, Microsoft is the original gangster of ecosystems. I remember when Visual Studio came out many, many decades ago, how Bill and the team opened up all those tooling, even though it was not open source, to get the developers develop on Microsoft platform. And that created a phenomenal ecosystem, still continues to deliver. So now, to this date, with EUC, Microsoft owns the Windows platform. Obviously, with this ecosystem, obviously you started working with, Scott, with partners like us. You grew it, and now with Nerdio. By the way, I will also ask you where the name Nerdio comes from, because I don't think Wasim is a nerd. Your founder, he's phenomenal. Maybe it was a joke, I don't know. You need to give a story on this one. Give the context also to our announcement as you're explaining where the term and the brand came from.
In fact, I'll tie those two things together, actually. So we're super excited to share the stage with Tarkan and Microsoft, also to share that we're building the next generation on-prem virtualization solution based on Azure Virtual Desktop. Now, to be able to extend beyond Azure Local on-prem to support management of both your cloud-based resources and on-prem resources. Nerdio has been in the business of extending the value of the Windows cloud products, both AVD and Windows 365 Intune and the entire M365 suite, since that early days that we signed that original partner agreement. In fact, in those early days, when we originally launched AVD, we didn't even have a GUI yet. And the folks from Nerdio saw that this technology was going to be very disruptive and asked, hey, if we partner together, we'll build the GUI for you, and then customers can either choose the REST APIs and PowerShell or use this new GUI model. Well, that was 6 years ago. Of course, the GUI came out, the Azure portal for this, and Nerdio has continued to innovate, continued to stay out in front of the product and add additional value and capabilities. Now, getting to the Nerdio name, because that was one of the first questions I asked when I actually joined the company. Now I'm wearing the shirt, right, Nerdio. And definitely, we see ourselves as the nerds, as your trusted advisor or nerds in the EUC space. So I actually fully embrace the name. I've been a nerd my entire life, so I don't mind wearing a shirt that's got the word nerd on it anymore.
Love it, love it, love it. Now, three-way collaboration, Microsoft, Nerdio, Nutanix, I love it. Exciting, but all about call to action. So what is do we have any news, Sal? Do you have anything?
News?
Yeah, some news. You know, give us some news. Make it special, come on.
The one question I get all week, and you've been giving me a hard time about it leading up to this week, is do you have any dates? And Tarkan keeps phoning me and is like, hey, do you have dates? Give me dates. So I'm happy to announce that the public preview of AVD Hybrid will be releasing this quarter, and we want all of you to test it while it's in public preview, because we have a quality-driven release date this year, and we need all of your help to hit that date.
Woo! Come on. Every single one of you asked me this question. Now we have the answer. Thank you for the date.
You're welcome.
All right. So this is the basically early, and then by the end of the year?
Yep.
Awesome. We love this. Do you want to add to that?
Absolutely. So we're excited to be working in parallel with Nutanix and Microsoft to also support those dates. Hopefully you had a chance to go by the Nerdio booth out there. We saw a lot of traffic out there. Obviously the booths are closed. I would encourage you to go to getnerdio.com/AVD, getnerdio.com/AVD, and you can sign up for the preview and start testing this out now, and let's get that product to GA.
Awesome. Great news. Thank you so much for both of you. Appreciate you. Always great to see you. We're going to have you guys back here again. Thank you, Sal. Thank you for that date. I know it was hard to get the date. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys. What a phenomenal collaboration. I know these sessions go fast, 6 minutes, 5 minutes, we're doing the speed dating partner announcements. I assure you, it takes a lot of time to get to this point. And a lot of team members on all these companies working so hard, and I appreciate all that work. So on that note, my last partner I'm going to bring up is a partner talks about not techno mumbo jumbo, talks about outcomes. And as I mentioned this to you all yesterday, we have these 39 innovations, phenomenal. Our IP and with all the ecosystem support and all these partners. One set of partners are critically important to us. All these service providers and systems integrators and our solution providers and resellers and distributors, making things work. Without them, we cannot get outcomes. So having said all this, we are truly proud to have partners like TCS, partners like Wipro, HCL, many of these SIs around the world, and the list is long. But one partner stepped up big time with us over the past 4 years. Big time, and that's Accenture. On that note, I would love to bring to the front Raj Vikramasinghe. I'm having a hard time with that name. Raj, please come up to the front. Vikramasinghe.
Yeah, you got it right.
I love it.
You got it right.
That's a name from Sri Lanka, right?
Yes, exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
I love that island. I've been to Colombo multiple times. I used to work with a phenomenal gentleman from the island. What a beautiful place.
You should all visit.
Are you from Colombo?
Yeah.
Amazing city.
Yeah.
Anyway, Raj, I really mean this from the bottom of my heart. None of these things scripted. You and I have been working together for a long time.
Yeah.
And for the past 6, 7 years, you said, keep steady. Let's work. Let's keep working. Because Accenture is a steady company. You guys don't jump on things just by a chance. There's always a plan. There's also always a program, a lot of customer input. Give us a little bit of backdrop, context over the past 6, 7 years, our engagement, where we came from.
Well, I think it's actually almost 10 years when you and I first started hanging out. I think back then our industry was very different. That's when the Googles, the AWSs, the Azures of the world were really scaling. Everyone was moving their workloads up onto the public cloud. But that is also when a lot of our colleagues, our clients in financial services, our utilities companies, healthcare said, hang on a second, we can't just throw everything up on the cloud. We have regulations. So that's when you and I started hanging out, and that's when we really started partnering. And you were advising us actually back then, saying, hang on, this is where this is going to head. And your platforms, your products have been central. But the thing that drove everything back then was everyone was looking at the cloud as a way of addressing the bottom line. They were trying to get costs down. They were trying to get provisioning faster. They were trying to get much better technology resilience. Those things are still very valid. But today, what's happening is our clients, our enterprises are saying, that's all great, but the cloud has to now enable our business outcomes, our competitive advantages. So infrastructure is now a central pillar in corporate strategy, right? And that's what's happening now, and where you have headed with your company, your platforms, your tools, is enabling that. And that's where we are, and that's why it's so fun to work together.
That's super. We're super excited. I know you might not like to talk about numbers, but when we start talking, there were probably 10, 15 certified solution architects at Accenture. What's that number now after a few years?
It's up to 700 now. And
Incredible.
I'll tell you more about that, actually. So as we are now, so where we are today, right? Where we are today is actually, we are now having fun. We are beginning to scale. We are showing up in front of our clients together. Our teams love collaborating. We have a great joint pipeline around addressing some of the de-risking that's going on in the ecosystem. But we are truly solving hairy problems. You know, in healthcare, in oil and gas, in industrial auto. But we are showing up together, and when we show up together, it's so powerful. Like, our clients love it, it's easier for us, and our win rates are higher. So it's a win-win. And to your point, we now have a practice of 700 people that is pointed at Nutanix that we are doing this with. And it's a 360-degree relationship, by the way.
100%.
We are also helping you with your supply chain capabilities. So I love where we are and can't wait for the future.
Truly appreciate it. I love that 360 moment. Supply chain is obviously one of the biggest problems in our industry right now, tying back to geopolitics, the economy, and everything else. You guys been phenomenal. You're our beast of supply chain. Thank you so much for all the help on that front.
Yeah.
Very important for us. But going back to this, I know people are listening to these numbers. 700 solution architects. I know you're not going to stop there, because we have millions, hundreds of millions of cores available, migrating for many different reasons. Competition doesn't make us bitter. It's better. We work with the entire ecosystem. Even our competitors, we want to make sure customers get outcome. So on that front, you guys are the phenomenal catalyst to make this happen with these people and also processes. And you have also your own IP.
Yep.
So we have a lot of ideas around these migrations. So having said all this, give a call to action to our customers, channel partners, because you also partner with channel, and you partner with other service providers and systems integrators as well. So I love that vision you have. So can you give a little bit?
Well, I'll broaden that, and I'll come to the actions. But what's also happening in our industry, in consulting, we go to our clients and we are constantly telling them, you got to disrupt yourselves in order to keep current. Consulting is now being massively disrupted, right? The days of us being able to go and provide an FTE-based estimate on billable hours, that's gone. What today is happening is you still want the FTE that is experienced, that is an industry professional, that can help look around the corner, but that person has to now be married to a digital set of agents and a platform. So that's the new currency. And as we do that, as you and I have been talking, we can bring the industry expertise, we can bring the experienced practitioners, but we want to collaborate with you as you build your digital agents, as you build your platforms, and together we'll create the new currency. And as that happens, we are naturally going to scale. The 700 will blow through the roof, right?
Amazing.
So my call to action is actually, as I look at this entire room, I think we all need to collaborate. We all need to co-create. I think we all need to co-invent. I think we all need to co-develop. But because what's coming at us is unknown. And as we do all that, I think we have to be responsible, right? Because we have to look after our brothers and sisters, our sons and daughters. Technology is just a tool. Don't let it be anything else. So that's the responsibility we have, and that's my call to action.
You're the best, man. I love you. You energize me.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Raj. You're amazing. Next time, I'm going to do a better job with that last name. I'm going to call you Raj W4 now.
No worries. But I'll just, before I go, we can say all that, but the foundation for what we are doing together is we love working with you. We love
Same
Nutanix, and that's going to be the foundation of how we get together.
Give me one more hug.
All right.
I
See you,
cannot.
man. Love
Thank you.
All right.
You're the best.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Raj. Thank you so much. I know this is the last stretch, and I really appreciate you taking the time. These partnerships take a long time for us and a lot of investment, and our ecosystem is also investing. Putting 700 new people, solution architects, training them, making sure they deliver value for you and for us as an ecosystem takes time and a lot of investment. And I truly appreciate Accenture and all our service partners helping us. Look, at the close, I just want to thank you all one more time on behalf of the phenomenal ecosystem and family we have as Nutanix here. Thank you so much for everything you do. And look forward to coming to a theater near you.